Last chapter. Finally, some good instant noodles, Indigo said, bringing the bowl from the kitchen. Everyone buys this flavorless piss, but Twilight's got a whole floor of hot and spicy strip ones. Seriously? Sauerkraut asked. The guy we're fighting just turned into a tentacle monster, and you're gonna eat instant noodles? Are you crazy? Wait, that's a rhetorical question. If we're gonna pull an all-nighter, I don't want to be hungry, Indigo shrugged. You've already eaten the kebab, Sauerkraut said, and Boric with spinach and feta. Not to mention super sweet cake that gave me diabetes, I think. Well, this was a few hours ago, and I have a quick metabolism, Indigo replied. It all went through me in an instant. By the way, if anyone feels like going to the toilet... I don't want to hear the rest of this sentence. Juniper covered her ears. Let's get back to the tentacle monsters. I greatly enjoy being one. Well, if you have a choice to be a tentacle monster, always be one, Sunny said. Fucking weaves, Lemon muttered. Do I have to remind you that you once drunkenly claimed that Sailor Moon turned you into a lesbian? Sugarcoat asked. What about it? That was ages ago. As my old gossipy Aunt Miranda would say, everything you may say be used against you. Sugarcoat's smart. Also, even I know that you can't blame an anime for turning you gay. It's what you get at birth. Could have been worse. Look at Sour. I don't think it's exactly blame, Twilight said, trying not to pay attention to Indigo and Lemon holding Sour sweet, preventing her from strangling Sugarcoat. You usually blame someone for bad things. Well, I say Lemon greatly enjoyed being a lesbian. Every second of it, Lemon smirked. Sour, leave Sugarcoat alone. Her birth package included asthma, poor eyesight, and being a huge bitch. I also enjoy every second, Sugarcoat replied. Speaking of huge things, let's get back to tentacle monsters. It's gonna be even more realistic when Indigo chokes on instant noodles. Good to know you believe in me, Indigo smirked. Where do you fit this anyway? Final form, Twilight replied. Better get your sword ready. Fafnir the Barbarian looked at his mighty sword and shook his head. The tentacles were covered in thick, slimy squid, and the blade kept bouncing off, no matter what he did. The Barbarian dodged another tentacle and dived into a pile of coins where he found Charlene. What about you? He asked. Can you do something to them? The form is resistant to fire, Charlene shrugged. I can flip him off, and not much more. At least the rest of the guys are still fighting, Fafnir muttered. A small silhouette Grey Mouser poked from behind a pile of coins and threw a magic missile at the massive tentacles, which shook and thrashed, bringing down half the wall and sending the coins in all directions. A little bitch! Sour jumped from behind her cover and released the barrage of arrows at the monster in front of her. It did even less than the magic missile. Arrows either bounced off or just disappeared in a shapeless mass as they sunk in a swamp. Sour cursed, but was cut short by a sudden gust of wind as something heavy flew past her. She watched as the bolt, the support of a beam, hit the tentacle monster, leaving a nasty, grayish bruise on one of the tentacles. What the hell? She asked, turning back. To her surprise, he saw Gamork standing by a large ballista, trying to reload it quickly. A rough task, given that the bolts were 3 times his size. Where did you get that? It was limited luggage, Gamork replied with a shrug. You had a big fucking ballista in your luggage? Sour exclaimed. Where exactly? Not to mention it was the same luggage we lost to the cultists along with a pony named by your heartstrings. Right, what happened to the pony? Gamork asked. Don't give shit about the pony, Sour shouted. Where'd you get a ballista, and why didn't you use it earlier, like whenever we needed it? It takes a while to put together. Gamork struck again. He found the master recocked the ballista and loaded it, this time trying some bombs to the bolt. Let it load! The bullet flew across the treasury, hitting the massive tentacles and exploding, sending coins, splinters, and bits of delicious tissue around. Sarah dodged the incoming projectiles, running curses under her breath. Where did you go with? She exclaimed. Is this our known IKEA? Before Gamork could answer, they heard a scream of Fafnir hit the ground next to him. Soon, he was followed by Grey Mouser, who landed on Sour's head, almost knocking her out. Gamork, warn us next time you try to do something like that, the Barbarian exclaimed. Some of us are melee fighters, you know. Gamork said fire no ho, the officer muttered. I'll make some holes in your ass if you try to blow us up again, Fafnir exclaimed. His words complimented by the hissing sound as Charlene took advantage of the Chancellor's wounds and attacked him with fire again. Grey Mouser stood up and fired another magic missile, pushing the burning creature back. No, we got him! Fafnir exclaimed. Come on, fire again! We'll win this! Remember, he's either Dagon or his minion, Greymaster said, casually firing their spell at a retreating creature. If I was the DM, our entrails would already be hanging from the Christmas tree. Nah, he may have turned into a tentacle monster, but he doesn't mean he can fuck us! The barbarian spun his sword and chuckled. Now I shall finish him off! Voice not so much echoed across the hall, but rather inside their skulls. Suddenly they felt much heavier, as if someone suddenly cranked up the gravity. The fire went out, and the smoke cleared, although not quite. They couldn't see the Chancellor, but they noticed the silhouette behind the smoke was no longer a mass of half-burnt tentacles. It was grotesque and shapeless, with way too many eyes staring them down. What was worse, it looked like now a whole creature was exactly in the same place as them, as if part of it existed in some other dimension they could vaguely feel, but on the whole, it went under the radar of their senses. He'll destroy us with psychic attacks, Sarah exclaimed, trying to stand up. Not on my watch. Greymaster stood up, facing the Chancellor. I'll stop him. Get the money and go out. Stop him for how long? Sarah asked. 2 seconds? No worries. Thurzadune's on my side. Greymaster turned to the Chancellor. Hey, Muttonhead, you think you're so great because you can just fry someone's brain with your mind? I could do that in my sleep. You can't even contain the halfling whose body he took over, Gamark exclaimed. That's no longer a problem, Greymaster replied. He shot himself mentally and told me you deal with this before running away to the darkest corner of my mind. Now, I shall stop this pathetic god's mind powers. As it turned out, 2 seconds of giving the halfling was a generous estimation. Right after Greymaster stood up and tried to conjure a shield, his head exploded, spraying bits of skull and brain around. His body didn't fall to the ground, though, and burst of flame still standing. Okay, anyone else has any ideas? Sarah asked. We pissed off a god, so if anyone wants to say their prayers, better do it quickly. Yeah, I guess Thursday didn't help. So let's get it into, Gamark shrugged. Gamark can say parley, but Gamark thinks he'll negotiate with us. Yeah, Sugarcoat would have fought you for this a while ago, so that's a success, Indigo said. Ironically, Sugarcoat is now headless and on fire, which means Twilight will now rip us apart. So what do we do? Sarah asked. Same thing as usual. Fight Charlene, charge the battle until we become 4 pairs of smoldering shoes, Indigo replied. No one will tell we died while running away. Don't know about this there to sing about our idiocy. Gamark smirked. Unless Hudson can sing, but unless there's even alive somewhere in this clusterfuck. Maybe he is, but who cares? Indigo stood up. Well, it's been an honor. Oh, great. I'm gonna die side by side with a barbarian, a freak of nature, and a little match girl. Sarah rolled her eyes. Well, you have my bow, I guess. I also have my axe, Fafnir nodded, and my flames. Charlie raced from the nearby rubble. Gamark chuckled. And me ballista! I want enough of it. No count of 3. Just charge! Fafnir exclaimed. For glory, gold, and reasonably priced horse! Gus Kazrem Tasigia! Sarah screamed, aiming her bow at the fast nothingness in front of them. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! Gamark aimed the ballista, strapping the last grenade to the bolt. Next year, Charlie decided to flip the Chancellor off. Flames shot out of the Greenmouser's body, suddenly engulfing the chamber. The coins on the floor started to melt. Cold evaporating without a trace. Gamark's last ballista shot hit the Chancellor, but it could as well fall into a black hole. They didn't even hear the grenades exploding. Fafnir almost stopped mischarge. He expected to live for about 2 or 3 seconds before exploding, becoming yet another forsaken soul of an adventurer. But somehow they kept going. He also felt a wave of hot air overtaking him, hitting the incomprehensible body of Chancellor, sending him backwards. Wait, what the? Sarah stopped, furrowing her eyebrows. This fucking halfling's gonna haunt us for the grave, isn't he? So far, he's haunting the Chancellor. Fafnir lowered his axe as white lightning shot out of the place where the flames hit the dark void, illuminating the whole cave. What's going on? Maybe he summoned Thurzadoon before dying? Charlene shrugged as another wave of lightning bolts engulfed them, followed by a powerful streak nearly piercing their skulls. So, it's a literal Deus Ex Machina? Sarah shrugged. Just great. Sugarcoat flip, if she was still alive. Fighting God with another god seems like a reasonable idea. Fafnir ducked when the next barrage of fire brought down the wall, destroying Gamark's ballista in the process. Wait, isn't Thurzadoon the guy who wants to destroy everything that is? Charlene asked. Well, at the moment, this doesn't include us. Zephyr grabbed a handful of coins and hissed when they burned his hands. Still, he started to stuff his bag with gold. Are you stupid? Sour asked. There are gods fighting around us and all you care about is money? They're immortal! Zephyr exclaimed. This fight might take a while. Maybe you can wait a few centuries to see who wins, but some of us don't have much time, you know. He says that time is money. Gamar gracefully darts a large boulder and held Charlie up. Lady, I believe we should get to enough to build a new inn. Possibly in a place where you can get tons of the customers. We really should do something, Sarah said. I mean, why else would we be here? What's to see a class of gods, what takes place at so many levels we can't comprehend? She nearly dodged a lightning bolt with the coins of hair, turning them into a golden vapor. You know what? Fuck this. Let's get out of here before the whole place collapses on our heads. Fafir stood up. His armor and every single pouch or bag he had on was filled with gold. Charlene and Gamork did the same, though their gold load wasn't impressive. Sarah sighed shook her head, grabbing a handful of coins that somehow survived the fight, and filled her quiver with them. Only then did they leave the cave. After getting through a narrow corridor, they heard some groaning, nearly drowned in a distant echo of the fight between Thauser and the Chancellor. They turned back to see Herzer and Hunsford himself, staggering in a charred, bent armor, dragging a bag full of coin behind him. I swear, if Sugarcoat took over the drowned now, I'm going to kill her myself, Sarah muttered. No, I'm still myself, Huzzer replied. Also, I guess it's time to retire. He looked at the bag. Yeah, seeing your boss turn into a tentacle monster will do that to you, Fafir said. Also, the floor starts shaking, so we better move. They rushed down the corridor, chased by roaring and clashing of rocks as more and more caves collapsed. Hudson soon managed to overtake the whole group. He knew the fortress best, and soon led the party to the surviving main carts. What will happen when the gods stop fighting? Charlie asked when they loaded the coal to the minecart. Either the winner will destroy the world, or they go for a beer. Fafir replied, Either way, there'll always be work for adventurers. Screw you and your party, Sarah muttered. I'll find myself my own one, with normal elves. Don't pick fights with gods for money. Normal elves? Harzard chuckled. That's a good one. I guess silly. No one else would build a catapult out of sticks and shit in 5 minutes flat, Gamork said. Long story. I'd rather not hear this one. Charlie hopped onto a cart. Where are we going? To the town? With this, we could buy ourselves a town. Fafir chuckled and pushed the cart. Let's go. So, that's it? Sugarcoat asked. I mean, I'm kind of dead, but at least I brought Thursday to the party. Indigo grabbed a piece of chocolate and threw it to the air, catching her in her mouth. Well, we got the money, and Sugarcoat's dead. What is there to hate? I mean, Sarah and Harrison will probably kill each other soon, because that's what elves and drow do, but at least Fafir can always get a hot girl. Thank you, Lemon said. Don't get too happy. Indigo smiled, saying smart. Indigo chooses her partners based on how much fire support they can provide. That's why her boyfriend looks like Heavy from Twin Fortress 2. You're just jealous because your boyfriend is like the Yeti, Indigo said. Everyone's heard of him, but no one has actually seen him. It's not over, Twice said, looking to herself with a smirk. I have an epilogue of sorts. Sarah smirked. Bring it. Since all the cultists mysteriously disappeared, the town got much more lively. It could be partially attributed to that mysterious group of foreigners who brought the local economy back on track, spending the large sums of gold in all the taverns, forges, brothels, and stores with magical items. They were just sitting at the inn, drinking beer and enjoying the warm sun, while the rock was still standing. The shadow previously covering the town when a thick veil disappeared. We shouldn't spend everything on beer and whores, Sarah said. We still need to buy some ship and get back home. This place is nice, but it's far away from civilization. Said the first elf who walked into a brothel and demanded a Kanduri to Dragonborn. Fafir said, I didn't know your racism didn't involve sex slaves. At least they didn't have a Kenda. Gamork looked around, just in case some Kandor showed up around him. A few of those little shits would steal the whole town. Still, a Dragonborn. Husband shuddered. Is it true that they have two? Totally, Sarah replied. Also, Gamork, still trying to pull out some dumb chicks? Not trying, Gamork replied, actually picking them up. Yet another proof that if you're rich, you can look like a mutated toad, and the girls won't mind. Fafir chuckled. Also, why do we need to buy a ship? Gamork will buy us a flying chariot. We'll fly around the world, and I'll get my own talk show. Do they even have talk shows in this universe? Charlene gestured. So he actually managed to gain more money since they came back from the Rock, mostly by challenging half the town to a drinking contest and winning. Well, Conan had one, Vivier shrugged. That's Conan O'Brien, you imbecile. Sarah shook her head. Anyway, I'll give you a piece of advice before I go find the other elves. You better invest this gold in some inn or some other shit, or else you'll end up a bunch of murder hobos again and... She turned back to see a tall man in rags approaching them. Fair warning, we shoot beggars on sight, she said, grabbing her bow. The more men in rags stood behind the first one, who smirked. I assure you, we are no beggars. Tadalani, Gamark asked. We're former innkeepers called by this gentleman here. The man pointed one of his companions. Your elf friend and her tiefling friend tried to seduce him and left him tied in his inn. When the guard arrived, they also found a corpse of some sailor upstairs. He barely avoided the gallows. Yeah, and what about me? Another man said. My inn ended up infested by undead dwarves. On the way here, we wanted to visit our old friend in the valley. Another man furrowed his eyebrows. He found his inn burned and body torn to shreds, and now I see his star is with you. Charlie stood up. Well, to be honest, they're right. Also, some of these guys are my favorite uncles. What's he saying? Sarah asked. He's betraying us, Fafir replied. Hey, Shirley, don't do this. We just defeated a god. Do you think this dad's army's gonna defeat us? Gamark rephrased his hand. Technically, you didn't. Dad's army? The man right chuckled. Your poor ear friend was right about one thing. What do you think? Who usually becomes an innkeeper? Former adventurers? Harzan asked. Also, for the record, I don't know these people. I'm just a simple drow, and I never heard an innkeeper in my life. Exactly. The man in rags produced a vorpal sword and empressly cut the table in half with it. You defeated a god, you say? Back in the day, I fucked a goddess. Two, in fact. The gray-haired dwarf innkeeper swung the axe at Dwarvis lords. Have you heard the story of Groton, the Bane of Dragons? If dragons told their stories to the young, they tell them about Groton lurking in darkness and approaching from behind. You can't be Groton, Sarah said. I assumed he was a side of Fafird. Why not? The Lord chuckled. The dragons have a hard time spotting a dwarf until it's too late, if you know what I mean. Enough of this shit, Sarah exclaimed. Tell us what you want, or get lost, or don't waste our time. Innkeepers all grabbed their weapons, most of them rare or legendary. Well, hope you're happy, Fafir muttered, grabbing his axe. We're either going to become Buzz at Sundance or Benny Hill. Knowing our tracker, it'll be the latter. So I play the song? Gamark asked. Sarah sighed. Oh, shut up and run! Excuse me, I need to go call my DM, but make sure I didn't tick off any innkeepers. Twilight looked at the girl in front of her, watching her with eager anticipation. She briefly saw her running away. The very fact that she saw Rainbow Dance in the library when there were no Doing Dude novels coming was too much of a shock. So, I heard from Juniper that you're done with that one campaign. Rainbow Dance said, Did you kill everyone? Nah, they're alive, though they wish they weren't, Twilight shrugged. Oh, that's good, Rainbow Dance smirked. Anyway, if you're done with them, I'd like to remind you that we didn't play anything for a while. Just came up with this great barbarian carrier. I call it Call the Conqueror. Also, I know that Pinky wants to either be a lesbian vampire or a slutty bard. So, basically typical for Fluttershy! Oh no, Twilight muttered, backpedaling. Not this again. The fun part about all this just reminds you that not every party is Critical Role. But you can still have a lot of fun with your DM. Back to the universe. And you know what? I needed this.